All right, class, welcome back to part 3, the third and final chapter of developing an independent research project. This again will be the third and final part, and just in time so that you can finish up your paper and turn it in on Saturday. Tonight we're going to be talking about your body paragraphs and your conclusion. Now, by now you have written your introduction. And just to review the structure of your introduction, you might want to also think of this as the order of operations, to use a term from math, and I'm sure you're familiar with. They all follow a logical sequence. One goes directly, logically into the next. This is in your introduction. You should have a discussion of your topic, providing whatever background information is necessary. This leads logically to your research question, which sets up and leads logically to your thesis statement, and then your 3 arguments. That should all be contained in your introduction. And now you're ready to turn to your body paragraphs. Your body paragraph should be used to develop the 3 arguments that you stated in your introduction. So you had 3 arguments, there should be 3 body paragraphs. Now, it's important to note that your body paragraphs, like no part of this paper, should never be a dumping ground of general information. We are trying to push you past book report writing, where you just give a summary, a generic summary of information without taking a stance, without making claims, without supporting them with evidence. We are doing investigative research writing. We're not writing book reports. So your body paragraphs should not be, again, dumping grounds of general information. Instead, the very first sentence of each body paragraph needs to state an argument. So the way that you ordered your 3 arguments in your introduction, that should be the order with which you tackle the arguments in the body of your paper. So your first argument stated in your introduction, that's going to be your first sentence in your body paragraph, of your first body paragraph. After you state the argument of that particular body paragraph, each subsequent sentence is then going to be a space to give further reasons and explanation and analysis to support that argument. So you might want to think of the body paragraph as its own little kind of mini essay in which you state an argument in the very first sentence, and then every sentence that follows within that paragraph is all devoted to supporting, analyzing, using persuasive language to prove that argument. We're going to be using what is called the Big Mac method. Now, I'm pretty sure we've referred to this a couple times throughout the semester, but I wanted to go into more depth and detail about what the Big Mac method is. It's just a way of structuring your writing within your body paragraphs. You're going to state a claim. You are going to provide and incorporate research to support that claim, and then you're going to supply in your own writing analysis of that research that explains how the evidence supports the argument, as well as your larger thesis. I'll let you read this for yourself, but we have all 3 parts of this Big Mac method in action here. And the first one is the claim. Again, you can read this for yourself. I'm just using that little theoretical example of the Zelda video game just to illustrate how this Big Mac method works in practice. You state a claim, you provide evidence to support your claim, you make sure, and I know a lot of us are still struggling with this, but you make sure that you have properly cited the research that you've incorporated, and then you don't just stop there, but you then attempt to give some kind of persuasive analysis that works to support and strengthen and defend your argument. And all of this together in those 3 body paragraphs will in turn work to help prove or give the best possible theory or support to your thesis. So that's really what you need to be doing in the body paragraphs. The Big Mac method. Now, I'm only using this one time or one cycle, I guess you could say, claim, evidence, support, but you can do that multiple times within the same paragraph, as long as the paragraph isn't starts to run off on you and get too long. But I should see the use of the Big Mac method in every one of your body paragraphs of this paper. This leads us finally to the conclusion. Just as I've said with every other part of the paper, you're not summarizing anything. You're not just giving generic background information. Your conclusion should not be a summary of what the reader just read. I mean, they just read your paper. So what you said is still pretty fresh in their mind. So they don't need a reminder of something that they just read, 2 minutes ago, right? So instead of a summary, you're going to use the conclusion as a space for showing the reader why you were right about what you stated as your thesis in your introduction. Remember, this is a competition, this is a debate, and at the end of the paper, you want to convince your reader, convince your audience that what you said, what you believed was the answer to your research question, it was the right approach to take. As you are writing your conclusion, you don't want to summarize, but you do want to recap your 3 arguments, but you're going to recap them in a way that explains how all 3 combined make the best case for the QED, quod erat demonstratum, that which was to be demonstrated. We talked a little bit about that in the last video, how in the old mathematical proofs, after they would work out the problem, they would put QED at the end, and that QED just stood for I have proven that which was to be demonstrated. So you're coming full circle in this paper, in the conclusion. As you are writing your conclusion, remember that this is an exercise of persuasive writing, demonstration of persuasive writing. So you want to use language like, as was clearly shown throughout this paper, or this evidence demonstrated convincingly that, or based on the above arguments, it is obvious that. You really want to drive the point home again to your reader that what you theorized in your thesis statement way back in the introduction, you've worked hard to prove with research and strong arguments. Now that we're at the end, you can stand back and say, I was right, and you have to acknowledge it. You sort of have that kind of mindset. So that, in a nutshell, is how to write the body paragraphs and your conclusion. Use this information to finish up your paper. And with that, we can all turn to assignment 21. Good luck, and please don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.